Now, in this video, let's start coming up with a simple melody or motif idea that we can use over this rhythm. And also, it's going to be an element that can be repeated through this video or throughout any other videos, giving a strong presence of this catchy melody or motif for the movie. It can even, for example, become an example of a character. You know, when you're watching movies and every time a specific character comes up, you hear that motif or that melody line that reminds you that that character is present in the movie. Now, let's take a look at how to do this. I'm going to use my guitar and come up with a lead line as I've been noodling around with it, and I came up with an idea that's going to sit quite nicely with this rhythm and electronic element. It's sort of a melancholic lead guitar line, but this will go quite nicely with the digital elements. So first, let's create an audio track. On this audio track, I need to make sure I've set the correct input. On my hardware, my guitar is going into input 2. It's going to be mono, then going out as a stereo output, and I can give it a name. I'm just going to call it guitar lead and add track. So I've got this guitar lead track now. And if I make sure that it's record armed and the monitor is turned on, you can now hear my guitar signal. So that's the idea. I'm just playing in the root key that's being played out by this pulsing synth. So that's in B flat. But as you can hear, the guitar sounds a bit flat. So I need to add some effects to give it some character and sound like it's a guitar. So first off, I'm going to add some amp simulation. This is going to use the crunch model with cabinet 1. I want to increase the drive. And then on the cabinet, increase the lows and maybe a little bit of the highs. So now we've got this. So it sounds a bit more like a guitar with some crunch and drive to the sound. Then next, I want to add a delay, and more specifically a ping pong delay, so it's going to bounce around the stereo field. On this ping pong delay, I want to filter out some of the lows, but still have some of the high content there. Then for the delay syncs, I want to set it to 16th notes. I want to have it more spatial, quite a bit more feedback, and increase this dry wet mix. Already sounding more spatial, and it's going to sit nicely with those electronic elements. Then after this, to give it its own room that it may be sitting in, so it doesn't sound so dry, I'm going to use an instance of Revelation. And with this, I want to load up a chamber effect, have a slight bit of pre-delay, increase that rate and that depth. Also, the high time, have a bit more level, and drop the dry wet mix. Then for the tail, I want to have a bit more delay, change the shape slightly, and then we left with this. And finally, to finish it off, just to thicken up that sound, I want to add some chorus modulation. With this, let's increase the width, filter out some of those lows, not so much of the highs. With the rate, I don't want to sync it to the tempo, but I do want to increase that rate to about 4.0 and drop the mix back slightly. So now we've got this. And just to show you where we've come, this was before with the dry unprocessed guitar signal. And now with the guitar processing. With a bit more character and space to it, and giving it an ambient vibe that's going to sit really nice with this mix. So I'm going to open up that video, and now I want to record that idea. I'm going to press record, it'll start the pre-roll, and then I'll record this. there you go. That's the guitar idea. I'm just going to trim that end and maybe fade it out. So listening back now, we've now got this melody that we can use as a recurring theme within the sound and use it when needed. But it's going to be a melody that's hopefully going to be sticking in people's heads and bring their attention to it whenever it's played with the movie. And just whenever you play back, just make sure you turn off the record arm and the monitor button. Very nice. I think that's working good with the video and it's mixing nicely with the other elements. So that's giving us a very good grounding now in the form of a melody. Now, next up, let's see how we can add some other textures over this to build up the instrumentation and build up the audio that's going to be accompanying this video. Catch you in the next video.